Module 5. Topic: Washington State liquor laws continued and required signage. Information to be covered in this unit. Number 1, no drinking while working. Number 2, you cannot give away alcohol. Number 3, you cannot tamper, dilute, or fortify alcohol. Number 4, lighting requirements. Number 5, hours of legal alcohol sales and service. Number 6, employees and licensees cannot be intoxicated on their own premises. Number 7, food service requirements. Number 8, corking wine. Number 9, it is illegal to sell or serve hard alcohol by the pitcher. Number 10, Washington State Liquor Control Board's right to inspect a licensed premises. Number 11, advertising bottomless drinks. Number 12, beer and wine restaurants restrictions for hard alcohol. Number 13, banquet permits. Number 14, alcohol cannot be removed from your premises. Number 15, what happens if you violate a liquor law? Number 16, what happens to your establishment if a liquor law is violated? Number 17, required signage. No drinking while working. This includes tasting. Those quality control straw shots are a big no-no. In order for you to taste while on duty, it has to be done this way. The establishment must be open. Only employees who are of age may sample the product. Underage employees can partake of the instruction being given, but they cannot sample. The employees cannot be doing other duties while taking part of the tasting. If the product was left by a representative of a winery, a brewer, a distiller, or a distributor of the beverage, the product must be in its original container and marked as a sample. It cannot be more than 12 ounces of beer or larger than a 750 milliliter of wine. It cannot be a sample of a beverage that you already sell or were given a sample of the same beverage by a different distributor. Although, if it is wine and the year in the bottle is different than what you currently sell, that is considered a different sample. The sample has to be inventoried into the inventory you currently have, and the records have to be kept for 2 years. The sample cannot be sold, tasted by customers, or removed from the establishment. Let me give you the definition of an employee. An employee means any person performing services on a licensed premise for the benefit of the licensee. This also includes volunteers or a regular who helps out when you get busy, unless they are not consuming alcohol. You cannot have a drink while you do your closeout. If you're off shift and are having a drink and the establishment gets busy, you cannot help out. You don't answer the phone. You don't do anything. Once someone is consuming alcohol, they cannot do anything for the operation of the establishment. You cannot give away alcohol or sell it for less than it's acquired for. The only times you can give away an alcoholic beverage is this: a guest birthday or a special occasion or compensation for bad service. It has to be spontaneous, and you cannot advertise that you will give free liquor for such events. Alcohol cannot be given as a prize. You cannot give away samples of alcohol. The only ways a sample of an alcoholic beverage can be given is this: if you work in a brewery, a winery, or an establishment that has its own private label, wine or beer, samples can be given of that product to your guests. They cannot have more than 2 samples of the same beverage, and the sample cannot be more than 2 ounces. If your establishment doesn't fit into these categories, you would have to sell the sample for a minimum of your cost. If the sample of the wine is 5 cents, you would have to sell the sample for a minimum of 5 cents. However, in order to sell samples, your establishment has to have permission from the Liquor Control Board unless the sample becomes a menu item. This law does not pertain to the new hotel license that allows complimentary beer or wine in the manufacturer's sealed container to be placed in the guest room at check-in. You cannot tamper, dilute, or fortify, which means put cheaper vodka into a more inexpensive vodka bottle, substitute a cheaper brand of alcohol for a more expensive alcohol, or serve a non-alcoholic beverage for an alcoholic drink when an alcoholic drink has been ordered. All alcohol has to be sold from a container labeled by the manufacturer of the beverage that is being poured. All beer taps have to be marked on both sides of the tap with the beer that is being poured. If your establishment makes its own fusion drinks, the brand of the alcohol being used cannot be advertised. You cannot be watering down your bottles of booze. I call that extending pour cost. Lighting requirements. The lighting in your establishment must be bright enough to be able to check cards of identification and to observe patrons where they are consuming alcohol. Just like the cover of darkness is when most crime happens. If an establishment is too dark, there will be things going on that do not need to be going on, such as the incident in 1994 when a young woman was raped on the dance floor.